All right, hi guys. I'm just going to run you through how I create a meal plan. So this is part of a series of creating like just a range that people can. I'm going to put in the marketplace. I've already put the vegetarian ones there. This is the high protein series, so I'm just up to week 3 of the 2,500 calories. So I've done 1,500 and 2,000 calories both weeks 1 to week 4. So I just it's probably a good opportunity just to go through, some of the little intricacies that I'll look at when I'm trying to put a plan together, and hopefully it helps someone. So first thing I've got to do is use the energy calculator. So I just name this. I'm just putting in some fake details here. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to override it anyway. 111. Active, continue, and then I'm overriding that to 2,500 calories. Now I'm just going with the standard meal pattern of 3 main meals, 2 snacks a day. Once that's in the marketplace, people can then pull that back and change it as much as they like. We've created an error message there, so these quantity serves down the side always need to be full. Once they're full, you should be sorted. Now, I like to use the simple meal tag, but then I can always change that. So simple just means, not a hell of a lot of ingredients or not a lot of steps. And then I just like to see how that measures up for me. So basically the meal plans are going to try and find recipes that will fit a day's worth of at 2,500 calories that are high protein and are simple recipes. And then at 1 serve each per meal. I might even change that to 2 serves because I tend to use a lot of leftovers. So I just hit auto generate, and that's going to spin up a meal plan for me. Now, what I've been working off is, just a couple options through the week. And then I go for some sort of hot breakfast options on the weekend. So I'm going to go with the smoothies. Oats Monday to Wednesday, a vanilla smoothie on Friday. I think on one of the others I might already have the pikelet, so I'm not sure, but I'll double check. And then there's breakfast done essentially. So we've got a hot breakfast at the weekend, and then I'll just lock all these because as soon as you edit, they'll unlock. Now that's breakfast done. I'm pretty happy with that. Now, what I tend to do is use a lot of leftovers because I think, particularly if you're using this as part of a challenge, leftovers are nice and easy and it saves someone time. So all I need to do, because I put 2 serves in there at dinner, there's more than, so there's 2 serves across each of those. And when you've got more than 1 serve, you can drag and drop. So I'm just going to drag and drop. I tend to have a sandwich or a wrap on the Monday because it doesn't really offer the opportunity for leftovers just yet. So I'll just go and search, and I'm looking for, let's go for a wrap. Let's go turkey and aioli wrap. I'll lock that. And now the meal prep box there, the MP, what that's going to do is take that serve from breakfast. Take that serve from lunch, and it's going to put it back here at dinner. And that's to reflect that if you're meal prepping, then it's got to be on this recipe card. So it's going to be prepared the night before. All the ingredients still remain on the shopping list. It's just putting this at 0 to reflect that it's actually not cooked or prepared at that point in time. And that's all the lunches and dinners done. So I can then go ahead and lock all of those as well. I still may make changes. Now, because this is a high protein meal plan, what I do to cover my bases is I like a soup. Now, this is at 2,500 calories, so this amount of protein isn't suitable for everyone. Now, I'm looking for a super protein shake that I've created, okay? So this is like 2 scoops of protein powder and it's got some fiber in it. Now, because the algorithm's essentially trying to find a breakfast, lunch, dinner, and 2 snacks that fit into 2,500 calories. So what it might do, it might be looking at around, 600 calories for the main meals, roughly, maybe 700 calories for the main meals and 200 calories for the snacks. And so right now it's looking for a snack at 200 calories. And it's, you know, the one I'm looking for, I think, is a bit above 200 calories. So I just hit this show all recipes, and that's going to go and find the super protein shake. So it's looking for super. You know, if I get rid of super, it'll show you what other recipes are in there, you know, that fit this criteria. But because I'm looking for a particular one, I just hit select. And then what I do for consistency, particularly with the protein shake, is I'm going to put that at least every day. Now, there's not really anything I'll repeat every day, but a high protein shake with plenty of fiber, it kind of gives me that level of consistency for fiber and protein. And then what I'll do is I'll just lock all them as well. Now, what I'll do is I come along and I delete all of these snacks. And I use this second row of snacks to really manipulate what I need in terms of the nutrition information. I'll make a few changes from here. So I'm now going to come down, okay? So what I want to look at, I'm always pretty keen to get the fiber up to the suggested dietary target for men, which is 38 grams of fiber. So that's way, you know, heaps for women, but it's okay if they have more. More fiber is not a bad thing. But I try and at least achieve for men. So we're sitting at around 2,400 calories. So by the time I put those snacks back in, we should be pretty sorted. Protein may need to come up a little bit. If I'm up around 190-ish, I'm pretty happy for that. But in saying that, so there's about 180 grams of protein. That is actually still going to be ample for most people, right? So, you know, if this person's trying to gain weight, as an example, then and let's say they weigh 90 kilos, they're still getting 2 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. The evidence suggests that 1.6 is the max where you'll sort of get the benefit from protein, from muscle protein synthesis. So if you're exceeding that, it's not a bad thing, but it's just not really adding to the muscle gain component that you might think it is. Doesn't matter if you do add more protein, but you know, really at 2 grams per kilo of body weight of protein, we've got plenty. But I do try and get it up to 190, 200 if I can. The other thing I'm looking at is sodium. Is it too high or too low? There's some pretty low days there. And so, you know, that is quite low. Typically, I'm not bothered if it's a little bit low, because people do tend to add a little bit of salt at the table. But I can sort of counteract that. So what I'll do, I need to find a bit more fiber. Protein's okay, but I need to find a bit more fiber and maybe some with some sodium. So I'll look at Thursday, Friday, Saturday are a bit low. So let's go with Thursday, find a meal. I'll get rid of the super. I'm just going to bring it back to calories within that range. And this is where I can change. I might get rid of simple, and I'll do high fiber and high protein. So let's have a look. So this one's quite high in sodium. Fiber's okay, protein's okay. So for a snack, that would be okay. So Thursday, we've now gone up to 38 grams, which is the SDT, and we've got plenty of sodium. Protein's at 185, so I'm pretty happy with Thursday. Friday, let's have a look. We could go with a cream cheese, 4 grams of fiber, not massive. Protein's pretty good, but it'll bump that sodium right up for me. I'm just going to have another look. Let's see what this one measures up at. Still, fiber's not massive, but it'll improve it, and protein's okay. So it's a sourdough open sandwich. Not a lot of ingredients here. We could probably go with that one. I'm happy with that. And that brings our sodium. So maybe that one wasn't as high in sodium as I'd like. No, it's quite low in sodium. So I might just drop that one on that day. Now, normally I do like some pretty simple snacks, you know, like pieces of fruit and yogurt, that kind of thing. But in this instance, I'm just going to bump it up that little bit more. And that takes our sodium up. Our fiber's up 36 grams, pretty happy with that. And protein is up at 194. And then on the Saturday, it's the sodium that I need to bring up again. So we will have a look. No, that one's not massive in sodium. If I get over 1,000 milligrams of sodium, I'll be pretty happy. So this is using a low carb, high protein bread that you can get at Woolies and Coles, packed full of fiber. It's got as much protein as meat. It is plant-based protein, but it's a nice simple recipe, a bit of pinch of salt on there. So I will use that one. And that gets our fiber. So then what I like to do is repeat these, okay? So I don't like to have a different snack every day. I just like to have some options for them so they can move it around. Oops. Okay. Now, this offers, whenever you drag and drop, that MP box does come up, the meal prep box, but if it's not a meal that you're actually meal prepping, you can just leave that blank. You don't need to tick that. And then I can go, well, let me look at how we measured up. Okay, so we got to 37 grams of fiber, so that's pretty close to the SDT of 38. Happy with that. 2,000 milligrams of sodium. So the SDT is 2,000 milligrams. It used to be 2,300 milligrams. Now, with the training and sweat losses, I don't get too fixated on this. There's a few days that are a bit higher, a few that are a bit lower. If I really wanted to balance it out, I could actually come and move. So let's look at Tuesday. So because Tuesday's high and I've got leftovers, it's telling me that apricot chicken is quite high because Monday and Tuesday are high in sodium and I've got it there on both days. So if I look at this, sodium's 483. It's actually not excessively high. Okay, it's coming from the wrap, which I'm going to leave there on the Monday, and it must be Dijon mustard. Yeah, okay. So I might just leave that. I'm not too bothered about balancing it out because, things will sort of level itself out over the week. Protein, I got to 192. So again, now that's ample protein. Fiber was where I wanted. Calories are a bit above the 2,500, but I don't get too anal about that either. I'm pretty happy with that. I possibly could balance out Tuesday for Friday if I really wanted to do it, and it might be 797, and Friday is, oops, I can see it here, 663. Let's see what this does. Okay, so what I might do, I'm just going to untick that meal prep box. I'm just going to move this one to there. I'm going to untick that. I'm going to move that to there. And then, so all I'm really doing here is just swapping Tuesday for Friday night's dinner. Oops. So that puts a serve back. I've locked that. So now we've got the roasted herb chicken on Tuesday dinner, Tuesday dinner, Wednesday lunch. And equally, we're going to have now the Dijon lamb and veggies. And I've moved that around. So I know that's confusing because it's got an MP box there, but it's just because I've moved it around, but it's really this one that I've dragged and dropped. Now that takes us, so everything won't change as an average because I've kept those meals. All I've done is really balanced out the calories. You can see there one was, in the 2,700s and one was in the low 24s. And it's possibly balanced out the sodium a bit. No, maybe it's dropped it a bit, but that's okay. And that's done. So I'm actually pretty happy with the numbers there of how that's panned out. I'm happy with the options. There's a bit of variety there. And the way the algorithm works in the background as well, guys, is that it uses an average, if you like. So it's trying to find recipes that are fairly similar in calories. So I guess the benefit of that is for your clients is that, you can, if they want to swap days or whatever, it's not really going to be a big deal breaker because the calories are pretty much interchangeable. So, it really gives that flexibility to a meal plan. All right. Done. Hopefully that helps. If you can see how you can make changes, certainly take advantage of within a recipe. Let me just show you. I'm not really going to delete this, but within here you can really start to move things around, and this is where you can tighten up the nutrition information, because you might need certain protein or certain sodium or certain fiber on a certain day. And so when you're looking at individual meals, you can put more than the 2 here. You can really zero in on it. And as you can see, the more tags you add, the more it narrows the recipes. But be sure to use those features when you're doing it. I'll just undo that, delete, and lock it. And we're good to go. So hopefully that helps, guys. If you've got any questions, as always, feel free to